Our story begins in the quaint American town of New Milford, where we meet a young girl named Sarah Hopkins. Unlike most children, who often find church services tedious, Sarah, sitting with her parents, Bonnie and Alex, listens intently to every word. Today, Pastor Max is recounting a biblical tale about the mustard seed. He explains that this tiny seed, when nurtured with love, can blossom into a magnificent tree. Similarly, even a minuscule amount of faith in God can grow into an immense, powerful force, capable of moving mountains. These profound words resonate deeply with Sarah, lingering in her thoughts long after the sermon concludes. But what happens when this extraordinary gift leads her to the brink of death, and an impossible choice must be made? After the church service, Sarah joins her family to watch her brother Danny's soccer match. The atmosphere is electric with cheering, and the game is intense. During the game, Sarah's grandfather, Sam, a former soldier, heads to the snack bar. There, he spots two young men attempting to steal food. Without hesitation, Sam intervenes. The boys try to resist, but Sam, with surprising ease, subdues them. After a quick lesson, he lets them go and calmly returns with the snacks. Meanwhile, on the field, Danny's team is struggling, trailing by 3-2 as the match nears its end. Sarah grows anxious. Noticing her worry, Sam playfully suggests, "Why don't you ask God for help? You talk about him constantly." Sarah, taking his words to heart, closes her eyes and earnestly prays for her brother's victory. However, in a moment of heightened emotion, she unceremoniously labels the opposing team idiots during her prayer. Immediately, Danny seizes the ball, executes a flawless bicycle kick, and scores. The game is tied 3-3, forcing it into overtime. The crowd erupts in excitement, as if Sarah's prayer had indeed been answered. But the tide quickly turns. Danny's rival Broner, determined to win at any cost, devises a trick. He fakes a foul by Danny inside the penalty area. The referee, convinced, issues Danny a yellow card and awards the opposing team a penalty kick. The pressure is immense. The whistle blows, Broner takes the shot and scores. Game over. Danny's team loses. Sarah is heartbroken, confused, and deeply disappointed. Did God even hear my prayer? She wonders. Sam, seeing her distress, gently comforts her, explaining that God's ways are often beyond our understanding, and sometimes even a loss can impart an important lesson. After the game, Sam takes the family to his home to unwind. Sarah, Danny, and Danny's girlfriend, Cindy, decide to go fishing at a nearby lake. On their way, Sarah spots a small, lifeless bird on the ground. Remembering the pastor's words about faith, she feels compelled to pray. She carefully picks up the bird and asks God to restore its life. Danny dismisses it as childish fantasy, but Cindy encourages Sarah to take her time, promising to meet them at the lake. Left alone, Sarah kneels by the water, cradling the bird in her hands, and prays with profound sincerity. Moments later, Danny and Cindy call out to her, but Sarah remains silent, gazing at the lake with a serene smile. Suddenly, a gentle breeze sweeps through the area, and then an astonishing event unfolds. The bird in Sarah's hands stirs, comes back to life, and soars into the sky. Danny and Cindy are utterly dumbfounded. Sarah, however, calmly explains that she saw someone walking on the water, the very person who answered her prayer. Later that day, back at home, Sarah excitedly calls her best friend Mark, recounting everything that happened at the lake. Mark, however, is unconvinced, finding her story impossible. Yet, Sarah remains steadfast, confident that God truly came to her and, through her prayer, revived the bird. After the call, her mother, Bonnie, enters the room. As they prepare for sleep, Sarah makes a shocking revelation. She calmly tells her mom that she saw God and that he even spoke to her. According to Sarah, he told her that he would soon take her to paradise. Hearing this, Bonnie is frightened, but tries to conceal her fear, gently soothing her daughter to sleep. However, later that night, Danny rushes into his parents' room, visibly worried, to report that Sarah is unwell. They quickly summon Dr. Ben. The doctor examines Sarah, concluding it's likely just a bad cold. Before he leaves, Bonnie shares her concern, relaying Sarah's words about meeting God and being taken away soon. Dr. Ben dismisses it as a child's imagination. After he departs, Alex quietly goes into Sarah's room. There, he notices a peculiar drawing on her desk. He picks it up and examines it closely. The drawing depicts the same lake near Sam's house and a mysterious man emerging from a bright light. The level of detail is astonishing. Both Alex and Bonnie are baffled by how Sarah could have created such an intricate drawing. They decide to let her rest for the day. The next day, feeling a little better, Sarah meets Mark. She tells him about her sickness during the night, then reveals another new drawing. This time, it shows Mark himself standing and playing basketball, with his legs completely fine. Mark, who is paralyzed, is profoundly shocked. Like her parents, he has no idea how Sarah produced such a drawing, and Sarah herself cannot explain it. Later, as the two friends walk through town, 3 troublemakers on bikes surround them, harassing Sarah and Mark. Before the situation escalates, Danny and Cindy arrive just in time. Danny, without a word, powerfully kicks his soccer ball, striking one of the boys' bikes. The boys fall and quickly retreat. Danny then escorts Sarah and Mark away, but soon they encounter Broner again, walking his dog, Navi. Broner immediately starts taunting Danny about losing the match. Cindy urges Danny to ignore him and leave, but Broner persists, even insulting Mark. Danny's anger flares, and he moves to confront Broner. Suddenly, a car speeds directly toward them. In a split second, Danny shoves Broner out of the way, saving his life. But tragically, Navi the dog is hit. Broner is devastated, shouting at the driver. Meanwhile, Sarah rushes to the dog, kneels beside him, and softly asks him to get up. Then, something unbelievable happens again. The dog slowly stands up, completely fine, without a single scratch. Everyone is shocked, especially Broner, who stands there, unable to believe what he just witnessed. After this, Sarah and Mark head back toward school. On the way, Mark asks her a crucial question: if she can help him walk again. Sarah agrees. She closes her eyes and prays for him, but this time, nothing happens. Sarah feels a little sad, but assures Mark that she will pray again later, with even stronger faith. Mark smiles and thanks her anyway. The next morning, something strange occurs. Mark feels different. His body feels alive. His parents quickly take him to the doctor. There, Mark reveals something shocking. He can move his toes for the first time. The doctor is bewildered, knowing Mark's injury was very serious and recovery almost impossible. Yet slowly, with effort, Mark moves his toes again. His parents are overjoyed. The doctor, still unable to comprehend what is happening, calls Mark's mother aside to speak privately. But at that exact moment, something even more shocking happens. Mark stands up and walks, just like a normal person, without struggle or pain. Everyone in the room is completely stunned. A woman named Dolores Clark, a patient and a local news reporter, witnesses this. As soon as she sees Mark walking, she recognizes it as a huge story. She quickly asks how this is possible. Mark simply says it's because of Sarah, explaining that Sarah prayed for him just as she prayed for Broner's dog. Hearing this, the reporter is excited. Without delay, she decides to create a special news report about a little girl who can perform miracles. But not everyone is convinced. Dr. Ben still doesn't believe any of this, convinced there must be a logical reason. He goes to Sarah's house with Pastor Mac. They sit down and speak with Sarah. Dr. Ben directly asks if she knows anything about Mark's healing. Sarah calmly replies, "Since the day at the lake, she has been able to talk to God, and through her prayers, she has been helping people." This answer makes Dr. Ben uncomfortable. He no longer believes in God, and thinks all of this must have some scientific explanation. Before leaving, he warns Sarah's parents to keep this a secret, because if the media finds out, their lives will change forever. Soon after, Dr. Ben returns home. There, he sees his wife watching the news, which is already discussing Sarah. Dr. Ben tells her not to believe it, but his wife thinks differently, believing this could be a chance for him to rediscover his faith. We then learn a sad truth about him. Years ago, he and his wife lost their son. After that tragedy, Dr. Ben stopped believing in God, now trusting only logic and science. Back at Sarah's house, her father, Alex, walks into her room. Sarah is busy drawing again. This time, she has drawn a girl riding a horse. She tells her father that she saw this girl in her dreams, and, according to her, that girl needs help right now. That girl is Teresa, a young girl who loves horses but is very sick with cancer. Her condition is worsening, and doctors have almost given up hope. At that same time, Teresa receives a visit from her uncle, Father Alonso. He brings her a gift and tries to comfort her, but deep down, everyone knows the truth. Things are not looking good. Later, Teresa's family sees the news about Sarah, a girl who can heal people. Desperate, they decide to go meet her. The next morning, they arrive at Sarah's house, but they are not alone. A crowd has already gathered outside, everyone hoping for a miracle. Seeing this, Alex tries to send people away, but suddenly Sarah notices Teresa. She recognizes her instantly from her dreams. Without hesitation, Sarah walks up to her. She holds Teresa's hands and promises to help her. Then she closes her eyes and starts praying. Within seconds, Teresa feels something strange, a warm, powerful feeling. Slowly, her face fills with happiness. Even though she can't fully explain it, she feels completely healed. Right after that, Sarah moves to another child, a little girl who was born blind. As Sarah prays for her, something mysterious happens. Teresa sees a strange figure standing behind Sarah. This figure gently places a hand on the blind girl's shoulder, and in that very moment, the girl opens her eyes. For the first time in her life, she can see. Everyone is shocked, but Sarah doesn't stop. She walks toward a boy sitting in a wheelchair. She holds out her hand and asks him to stand up. The boy hesitates, but then slowly gets up and starts walking. At this point, there is no doubt anymore. Something unbelievable is happening. Sarah is changing lives. But suddenly, after helping so many people, Sarah starts to feel weak. Her body can't handle it. She collapses. Her parents rush to her side in panic and quickly take her to the hospital. At the hospital, Dr. Ben checks her condition and says they need to wait for the test results. But outside, things are getting out of control. News about Sarah has already spread. Reporters start gathering around the hospital, trying to get any information they can. Seeing this, Dr. Ben helps the family escape quietly through the back exit. To stay safe, they all go to Sam's house, so Sarah can rest peacefully. There, Bonnie sits with her father, Sam. She is scared. She tells him that every time Sarah helps someone, she gets weaker. It feels like each miracle is taking something from her. In the middle of this emotional talk, Bonnie gets a call from Dr. Ben. The test results are ready, but the news is heartbreaking. Sarah has a brain tumor, and it's very serious. Hearing this, Bonnie breaks down in tears. The next morning, Dr. Ben and Pastor Mac come to Sam's house. They want to talk privately with Sarah's parents. Meanwhile, Danny takes Sarah outside to play in the woods, trying to keep her distracted. But for a moment, he loses focus, and Sarah quietly runs back to the house. She hides and listens to the conversation. Inside, Dr. Ben explains everything. The tumor is growing fast, and surgery is very risky. There is almost no hope. Her parents are devastated. They can't even imagine losing their daughter. Just then, Sarah walks into the room. She has heard everything, but instead of being scared, she stays calm. She tells her parents not to worry, saying she is going to a better place. Then she hugs them tightly and makes one last request. She wants to go to the lake one more time, but suddenly, she faints again. Dr. Ben quickly tells them to take her back to the hospital. As they prepare to leave, Sarah looks at her grandfather. With weak eyes, she softly asks him to take her to the lake before it's too late. Back at the hospital, the situation grows even more intense. Reporters are everywhere, trying to get updates about the miracle girl. The family does everything they can to keep them away. Inside the room, Danny sits with Sarah. He brings her drawing materials to cheer her up, but instead, Sarah asks him something profound. She asks what it feels like to be with someone you love, because she believes she may never get the chance to experience it. Danny has no words. He just stands there, heartbroken. Cindy tries to comfort Sarah. Then Sarah makes another request. She asks Cindy to sing their favorite song. Cindy agrees, but as she sings, she starts crying, because deep down, she feels this might be the last time. Soon after, Bonnie and Alex come in to check on their daughter. At that moment, Danny receives an urgent message from his grandfather. Sam asks Danny and Cindy to come to his house immediately. Without wasting time, they leave the hospital and head there. At Sam's house, everyone gathers. Before saying anything, Sam lets Teresa speak. She talks about what she saw earlier, that mysterious figure beside Sarah. She truly believes it was God, and she says only God can save Sarah now. After hearing this, Sam reveals his plan. He says they must take Sarah back to the lake, the same place where everything started. He believes if Sarah returns there, God might heal her. Everyone agrees, but there is a big problem. The hospital is full of reporters and strict security. They won't allow Sarah to leave. That's when Maria steps in. She is a nurse at the hospital, and she has an access card that can open secure doors. Now the plan is set. Everyone heads back to the hospital. Danny, Cindy, and Maria go to the locker room and change into nurse uniforms. At the same time, Sam goes to Sarah's room and asks Alex and Bonnie to step outside for a moment. This is all part of the plan. As soon as the parents leave, Danny and Maria quickly prepare Sarah to secretly take her out. Meanwhile, Teresa lies in Sarah's bed, wearing a blonde wig to look like her. At the same time, Cindy and Mark create a distraction. Cindy pretends to feel sick and suddenly faints at the reception. All the nurses rush to help her, and in that moment, Danny, Maria, and Sarah quietly pass through the hallway without anyone noticing. Once they get outside, Mark gives Cindy a signal. She suddenly stands up and walks away, leaving everyone confused. Meanwhile, Sam is still keeping Sarah's parents busy. He tells them that he wants to take Sarah to the lake to fulfill her final wish, but they strongly disagree. They think it's too dangerous, so they rush back to Sarah's room, only to find Teresa lying in her place. Now there is no hiding the truth. Teresa tells them everything. Hearing this, Alex and Bonnie panic and rush to find their daughter, but Sarah is already gone. Danny and Maria are driving her toward the lake. As they leave the parking lot, a reporter spots them. He immediately alerts his team. Now a chase begins. Danny speeds up the car, trying to escape the reporters, but things get worse. They pass a police car at high speed. Now the police also join the chase. They order Danny to stop. Right behind them, Sam and Pastor Mac follow in a pickup truck. Sam drives fast and manages to get ahead of the police. The officers warn him to move aside, but he refuses. He just wants to buy time so Sarah can reach the lake. Finally, Danny reaches near the lake, but suddenly a large tree blocks the road. They can't go forward. Just then, another vehicle arrives. Danny thinks it's the police, but it's actually Broner. Yes, the same boy from before. He says he came to help as a way to thank Sarah for saving his dog's life. Without wasting time, Broner lifts Sarah in his arms and takes another path through the woods. Soon after, Sam and Pastor Mac arrive. The police catch up to them and are ready to arrest Sam for speeding, but Sam begs them. He tells them about Sarah and how little time she has left. The officers recognize her from the news, and at that moment, they decide to let him go. Sam rushes toward the lake. Meanwhile, Broner and Danny are carrying Sarah through the forest. Suddenly, a wild wolf appears in front of them. It looks ready to attack, but just then, Navi, Broner's dog, shows up. The wolf gets scared and runs away. Thanks to this, they finally reach the lake. Moments later, Sarah's parents and a group of reporters arrive too. Bonnie and Alex rush to their daughter. They try to wake her up, but she is very weak now. Bonnie gets angry at her father. She blames him for risking Sarah's life. At the same time, Sarah is slowly losing consciousness. Her mother breaks down in tears, afraid she is about to lose her. And then something unbelievable happens. A bright light appears in the middle of the lake. It looks just like the one Sarah drew before. From that light, a man appears. He gently calls Sarah, and in that moment, Sarah's spirit leaves her body. She slowly moves toward the light. As she gets closer, she realizes who he is. It's Jesus, just like she had said before. He smiles at her and invites her to come with him to paradise. Without fear, Sarah goes with him, and soon after the light disappears, the portal closes, and everything becomes quiet. Everyone standing near the lake is shocked. No one can understand what just happened. But then reality hits hard. Bonnie looks down and sees her daughter's lifeless body. She breaks down in tears. The whole family is heartbroken. They take Sarah back home in complete silence. Even the rain stops as if the world itself is mourning. At home, everyone gathers around Sarah. Her parents cry endlessly. Bonnie tries to find some peace by telling herself that her daughter is in a better place. Even Dr. Ben arrives. He checks Sarah carefully, but there is no pulse. According to him, she is gone. But Danny refuses to accept this. He just can't believe it. Then suddenly, he notices something. Another drawing made by Sarah. In the drawing, Sarah is coming back from a bright gate, returning to the world. Seeing this, Danny feels a spark of hope. Without thinking twice, he runs to his sister. He holds her and begs her to come back. And then something unbelievable happens. Sarah slowly opens her eyes. She is alive. Everyone freezes for a moment and then bursts into tears of joy. It's another miracle. Sarah smiles at her family. She says that she asked God to send her back because she wanted to stay with her family a little longer. After this emotional moment, Sarah steps outside the house. People from all over the town have gathered there. Many of them kneel before her, but Sarah quickly stops them. She tells them to stand up. She says she is not the one doing miracles. She was only sent to share a message of love, a message of faith. She tells everyone to help each other and to believe because God is always there, even when we don't see him. A few days later, everyone gathers at the church again. Pastor Mac talks about everything that happened. He shares how Sarah's strong faith changed so many lives. And in the end, Sarah remembers the story of the mustard seed, a tiny seed that grows into something big, just like faith. Even a small belief can lead to something powerful, something that can change everything.